The apartment door suddenly smashed open with a terrifying crash. "Who's there?" Jennie screamed, backing away into the dark living room, her hands shaking violently. "Stay away from me." A shadowy figure moved across the room like a ghost. Before Jennie could even turn to run, a pair of strong, cold hands pinned her wrists behind her back. A harsh cloth was slammed over her mouth and nose. "Let me." Jennie thrusted her body, her heart pounding against her chest, but the stranger's grip was like iron. "Don't fight it," a deep, calm woman's voice whispered right next to her ear. "It only takes 3 seconds." Darkness swallowed Jennie whole. When Jennie opened her eyes, the world was spinning. She was trapped in the passenger seat of a luxury sports car speeding through the pitch-black night. Beside her sat a young woman with sharp, killer eyes and a stone-cold expression. Who are you?" Jennie gasped, clutching her aching head. "Where are you taking me? Please answer me." Lisa Manoban didn't turn her head. She kept her eyes glued to the dark highway. "Save your breath." "Why are you doing this?" Tears streamed down Jennie's face as she yanked at the ropes around her wrists. "I'm just a normal girl. You have the wrong person." "I don't make mistakes," Lisa said coldly, her voice sharp as glass. "Then tell me why," Jennie cried out. "Tell me who sent you. My family doesn't have money. My parents are going to be worried sick." Lisa hit the brakes slightly as they took a sharp turn. "I wasn't sent here to explain myself. I was sent here to take you." "Take me where? To die?" Jennie screamed, her voice cracking with pure terror. "Please, just pull over. Take my phone. Take my money. Just let me go." Lisa finally glanced at her. "My orders are absolute. Find Jennie Kim. Bring her to me alive. Don't ask questions." "That is what my boss said. Your father has secret information that belongs to us." Jennie froze, her eyes wide with complete shock. My father? What are you talking about? My dad is a high school teacher. He doesn't have any secrets." "He lied to you," Lisa replied instantly. "No, he didn't," Jennie yelled, sobbing hysterically. "He's a good man. He works every day and waters his plants. He doesn't even know any rich or dangerous people. You grabbed the wrong family." Lisa looked at Jennie again. The raw terror, the complete confusion, the chaotic breathing, none of it looked like an act. Lisa had kidnapped billionaires, politicians, and spies, but this girl looked like a totally defenseless civilian. Is she really this good at acting? Lisa thought, a tiny spark of doubt hitting her mind. Or did the agency give me the wrong target? An hour later, the car stopped before a gigantic, creepy mansion locked behind heavy iron gates. The surrounding forest was pitch black and silent. Lisa stepped out, opened Jennie's door, and roughly pulled her up by the arm. "Get out," Lisa commanded. "Please." Jennie collapsed to her knees on the cold concrete, sobbing uncontrollably. "Look at me. I don't know anything. If you bring me inside, whoever is in there is going to kill me. Please, have mercy." Lisa stared down at the crying girl. Jennie was practically hyperventilating, shivering in the freezing cold air. Lisa reached down and pulled Jennie up by her shoulders, looking straight into her eyes. There was no hidden anger, no secret agent training, no trap, just pure, heartbreaking innocence. Something is wrong, Lisa thought. The boss said her father was an international informant, but she doesn't even know what an informant is. Suddenly, Lisa's phone vibrated violently in her jacket pocket. She pulled it out with one hand while holding Jennie with the other. A high-priority encrypted text message popped up on her screen. "Boss. Do not let her remove the necklace under any circumstances. If the pendant breaks, she dies, and our deal is off." Lisa's eyes went wide. "What?" She quickly turned Jennie around and grabbed her collar. "Hey, stop! What are you doing?" Jennie gasped, backing away in fear. "Don't touch me!" "What is this around your neck?" Lisa demanded, her voice losing its cool composure for the first time all night. Jennie clutched the delicate silver chain resting against her chest. It's just a necklace. My dad gave it to me on my 10th birthday. He told me never to take it off. Lisa stared at the small silver pendant. Suddenly, she noticed a faint blinking red microlight hidden inside the metal design. "It's not a necklace," Lisa whispered, her blood running cold as she realized the horrifying truth. "It's a tracker. And a bomb." Jennie stopped breathing. What?" "Your dad didn't give you a gift," Lisa said, staring into the dark woods as distant car headlights suddenly lit up the trees behind them. "He put a target on your chest." "Hey, what are you doing?" Jennie cried out, taking a step back into the dark foyer as Lisa stepped closer, her eyes locked on Jennie's neck. "Don't touch me." Lisa reached out and gently held the silver pendant between her fingers. Her face was tense. "This necklace, where did you get it?" "Why do you care?" Jennie asked, her voice shaking with fear and confusion. "It's my mother's gift. I've had it since I was a child. Why? Is there something wrong with it?" Lisa stared at the pendant for a long moment, noticing a faint, unusual seam running along its edge. She really thinks it's just a childhood gift, Lisa realized. But she wasn't about to tell Jennie the truth just yet. "Nothing," Lisa said coldly, letting go of the chain. "Just keep it on." "Tell me what's going on," Jennie pleaded, her eyes filled with tears. "You kidnapped me, you dragged me to this scary place, and now you're acting weird about my jewelry. Who are you people?" "I told you, stop asking questions," Lisa said, turning her back. "Follow me." Lisa led Jennie up a massive spiral staircase and down a long, dimly lit hallway. She opened a heavy wooden door to a simple bedroom. "Stay inside, the doors outside are locked," Lisa commanded before closing the door. An hour later, Lisa entered the room carrying a tray with a warm bowl of soup, some bread, and a glass of water. Jennie was sitting in the corner of the bed, her knees pulled tight against her chest. "Eat," Lisa said, placing the tray on the small side table. Jennie looked at the food and shook her head tightly. "No, I don't want it." "You haven't eaten all day," Lisa said, her voice neutral. "Eat." "I said no!" Jennie snapped, her voice breaking. "I'm not eating anything you give me. How do I know it's not poisoned? Just leave me alone." Lisa didn't argue. She simply looked at Jennie for a few seconds, turned around, and left the room without another word. Jennie stayed in the dark room, her stomach aching with hunger as the hours passed. Around midnight, the bedroom door quietly creaked open again. Jennie flinched, expecting the worst. Instead, Lisa walked in holding a fresh plate of warm rice, simple cooked vegetables, and a sealed juice box. She set it down right beside Jennie on the bed, along with a fresh blanket. Jennie looked at the fresh food, completely baffled. She looked up into Lisa's tired, sharp eyes. "If I'm your prisoner," Jennie whispered softly, her anger fading into complete confusion, "why are you taking care of me?" Lisa paused at the doorway, her hand on the handle. She didn't look back, but her voice lost its harsh, icy edge. "Because being my prisoner doesn't mean I want you to suffer." With that, Lisa walked out and quietly shut the door. Jennie sat in silence, staring at the closed door. For the very first time since she was snatched from her home, Jennie noticed something unexpected behind Lisa's cold, scary exterior, a hidden layer of kindness. Downstairs in her private study, the mansion was completely silent. Lisa sat at her desk under a single desk lamp. While Jennie was resting upstairs, Lisa had used a temporary lock-picking kit to secretly unhook the necklace from Jennie's neck while she slept, replacing it with an identical fake chain so Jennie wouldn't panic. Lisa adjusted a small magnifying tool over her eye and brought the silver pendant close to the light. "Let's see what you're hiding," Lisa muttered under her breath. Using a microscopic needle, Lisa carefully pressed against the tiny seam on the side of the pendant. Click. Lisa's eyes widened in shock. The pendant popped open, revealing a tiny hidden compartment inside. Tucked neatly inside the microspace was a microscopic black microchip and a faint red digit timer reading 0 hours 48 minutes and 12 seconds. The timer was counting down. The study was dark, quiet, and cold. Only a single yellow light shone on Lisa's desk. Lisa sat silently, holding Jennie's silver necklace under a magnifying tool. Her sharp eyes focused on the tiny seam on the edge of the silver pendant. Using a thin tool, she pressed against the side. Click! The pendant opened slightly. Lisa gasped. Inside, hidden in a microscopic slot, was a tiny black microchip. "What is this?" Lisa whispered to herself. "Lisa?" Lisa's heart stopped. She instantly slammed the pendant closed, covering it with her palm, and turned around. Jennie was standing at the doorway of the study. She was wearing a loose sweater, rubbing her sleepy eyes, and looking directly at Lisa's desk. "What are you doing down here?" Jennie asked softly, walking further into the room. "Why are you looking at my necklace?" Lisa kept her face completely emotionless. Her voice was steady and ice cold. "I wasn't doing anything with it." "Yes, you were," Jennie said, her voice rising as she took a step closer. "I saw you. You were holding it under that light. Why are you so obsessed with my necklace?" Lisa stood up from her chair, towering over Jennie. "I was checking whether it could be used to track us. In my line of work, we inspect everything. If your dad gave you a tracker, my boss will find us in minutes." Jennie stared at Lisa, her chest heaving as tears welled up in her eyes. "Why do you keep blaming my father? My dad is a good man. He doesn't make trackers, he doesn't make bombs, and he doesn't work for bad people." "People hide things, Jennie," Lisa said calmly. "Even the people you love the most." "Not my dad!" Jennie yelled, tears spilling over her cheeks. "He gave me this necklace on my 10th birthday. He told me my mother wanted me to have it before she died. It's the only thing I have left of her. Why can't you just leave it alone?" Lisa looked down at Jennie's trembling frame. Seeing the pure pain in Jennie's eyes made something shift inside Lisa's chest. "I'm just trying to keep you alive," Lisa said softly, her voice dropping its harsh tone. "Go back to bed, Jennie. You're safe here tonight." Jennie wiped her face with her sleeve and looked at Lisa. "Are you really going to hurt me?" Lisa stared back into her eyes. "No, I won't let anyone hurt you." Jennie took a deep breath, nodded quietly, and walked back upstairs. Once Jennie's bedroom door closed, Lisa sat back down at her computer. She opened her top-secret intelligence database and typed in Jennie's father's full name. For 30 minutes, Lisa read through deeply classified government documents. Her eyes widened with every sentence. 10 years ago, Jennie's father worked as a chief scientist for the world's most dangerous crime syndicate. He realized his bosses were evil, so he stole their most secret file, a digital code that could shut down entire government systems, and fled into hiding. The crime syndicate searched for him for a decade, but the code vanished. Lisa leaned back in her chair, cold sweat breaking out on her forehead. "The evidence didn't vanish," Lisa realized, her voice barely a whisper. "He hid the code inside his daughter's necklace." Jennie isn't the target, Lisa thought in horror. She never was. My boss doesn't want Jennie. He just wants the key around her neck. Later that night, around 2 a.m., Lisa walked past Jennie's bedroom. She heard muffled cries and gasps coming from inside. Lisa quickly opened the door and stepped inside. Jennie was tossing wildly on the bed, caught in a terrible nightmare. Tears were streaming down her face, and her hands were clutching the bedsheets tightly. "No, Dad, please don't leave me." Jennie sobbed in her sleep, her voice cracking. "Please, don't let them take me." Lisa walked over to the bed and sat softly on the edge. She reached out and gently took Jennie's hand. Jennie gasped, opening her eyes slightly. She was shaking in terror, still caught between her dream and reality. "Lisa?" "Shh," Lisa whispered, holding Jennie's small hand gently in both of hers. "It was just a dream. I'm right here." "I'm so scared," Jennie cried softly, closing her eyes again. "I want to go home." "I know," Lisa said softly, gently brushing a strand of hair away from Jennie's face. "I'm sorry." Lisa stayed by Jennie's side all night. She didn't leave the room. She sat silently in the dark, holding Jennie's hand until her breathing became calm and she fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. Just as the sun began to rise over the mountains, Lisa's phone vibrated violently in her pocket. Lisa quietly pulled her hand away from Jennie, stood up, and stepped out into the hallway to check the screen. It was an encrypted message from her boss. Boss, the necklace contains the master key. Get it from her before Friday. If she refuses to give it to you, kill her and take it. Lisa stared at the screen, her blood turning cold. She looked back at the sleeping, innocent girl inside the room. Lisa deleted the message, her jaw clenching tight. Over my dead body, Lisa whispered into the dark hallway. The morning sun came through the window, but Jennie stayed hidden under her blanket. A quiet knock sounded at the door, and Lisa walked inside holding a tray. Get up, Lisa said softly, placing the tray on the side table. It's time to eat. Jennie turned her face away. I'm not hungry. I won't eat anything you bring me. Lisa smiled slightly and crossed her arms. I knew you would say that. That's why I didn't get this from a restaurant. I actually went to the kitchen and cooked for you. Jennie blinked in shock. She sat up and looked at the plate. There were sweet pancakes, fresh strawberries, and warm tea. You cooked this? Jennie asked, confused. A scary kidnapper knows how to make pancakes? Lisa laughed softly and sat on the edge of the bed. I know how to cook, Jennie. Eat it before it gets cold. Jennie picked up her fork and took a small bite. Her eyes went wide. Okay, it's actually really good. Careful, Lisa teased, leaning closer with a small smile. If you like my cooking too much, I might never let you go. Jennie blushed and looked down. As she reached for her tea, Lisa noticed a small red scratch on Jennie's wrist from the ropes. Lisa's smile vanished, replaced by deep concern. Without saying a word, Lisa got up, brought a first aid kit from the bathroom, and sat back down next to Jennie. Give me your hand, Lisa said softly. It's just a tiny cut, Lisa. It doesn't hurt. Lisa gently held Jennie's hand anyway. Her touch was super light and careful as she cleaned the scratch. She blew softly on the skin and placed a small bandage over it. Jennie stared at Lisa's gentle face. All her fear disappeared, replaced by a warm feeling inside her heart. Lisa, Jennie whispered softly, why are you being so sweet to me? You kidnapped me. You're supposed to be my enemy. Lisa finished putting the bandage on, but she didn't let go of Jennie's hand. She leaned in closer, looked straight into Jennie's eyes, and spoke in a low voice. Maybe I don't like seeing you hurt. Jennie stopped breathing for a second. She realized that under Lisa's cold clothes and tough look, there was a deeply caring person. Throughout the day, Jennie stopped feeling scared and started feeling comfortable around her. Later that night, heavy rain fell outside. Lisa sat on the big sofa, looking at files on her tablet. Jennie sat right next to her, wrapped in a warm blanket. They talked for hours about simple things, Jennie's favorite books, her childhood, and her normal life. Lisa listened quietly and smiled. As it got late, Jennie became very sleepy. Her head slowly fell to the side and rested gently on Lisa's shoulder. Lisa froze. She looked down at Jennie, who was sleeping peacefully against her arm. A sweet, real smile appeared on Lisa's face. She moved slightly to make Jennie comfortable and pulled the blanket up to keep her warm. I actually like having her around, Lisa thought, feeling peaceful for the first time in years. While moving the blanket, Lisa's hand touched Jennie's silver necklace. She gently lifted the pendant so it wouldn't hurt Jennie's neck while sleeping. Under the lamplight, Lisa noticed something strange. The silver pendant had a tiny line down the middle, a secret opening that normal necklaces never have. Lisa's eyes narrowed. She realized this necklace had a big secret that Jennie knew nothing about. The next morning, the heavy atmosphere inside the mansion had completely disappeared. Jennie walked down to the kitchen, feeling much lighter. She saw Lisa standing near the stove, looking serious while flipping an egg. Jennie smirked, leaning against the doorframe. Look at you, Jennie teased, crossing her arms. The terrifying agent is taking her cooking duties very seriously today. Lisa looked up, a small smirk playing on her lips. She deliberately tossed a piece of toast onto a plate, making it land with a loud clatter. If you don't like my cooking, you can starve. Hey, that's bad service, Jennie giggled, grabbing an apron. Move over. Let me teach you how normal people make breakfast. You? Teach me? Lisa raised an eyebrow, intentionally acting arrogant just to see Jennie's bright smile. All right, let's see what you've got. They started making pancakes together, but it didn't stay serious for long. While Jennie was carefully mixing the batter, Lisa quietly reached into a bowl of flour, scooped a handful, and lightly blew it right into Jennie's face. Lisa! Jennie gasped, covered in white powder. Jennie instantly grabbed a handful of flour and threw it right back at Lisa's jacket. Within seconds, a full-blown, playful food fight broke out in the kitchen. Laughs echoed through the grand mansion as they threw flour and splashed small drops of water at each other. Finally, Jennie surrendered, leaning against the counter, breathless and laughing so hard her cheeks turned red. Okay, stop, I lose. Lisa chuckled, walking over to her. She raised her hand and gently wiped a patch of soft flour off Jennie's cheek with her thumb. As Lisa's thumb brushed against her skin, Jennie's laughter faded. The playful mood suddenly vanished, replaced by a deep, breathless silence. Lisa didn't pull her hand away. They were standing inches apart, so close that Jennie could feel the warmth of Lisa's breath. Both of them froze, their hearts pounding in their chests. A sweet, shy blush spread across Jennie's cheeks, and even the usually stoic Lisa looked flustered. Jennie looked up into Lisa's dark, intense eyes and whispered softly, "Why do you look at me like that?" Lisa's gaze dropped to Jennie's lips for a second before meeting her eyes again. Her voice dropped to a low, quiet murmur, "Because you're becoming difficult to ignore." Jennie felt a flutter inside her stomach. She looked down, then back up at Lisa. "Lisa," Jennie asked gently, her voice full of genuine curiosity, "why did you become a kidnapper? You're not a bad person. I know you're not." Lisa slowly leaned back against the counter, her eyes dimming as painful memories resurfaced. "I didn't have a choice," Lisa said quietly, looking out the window. "When I was young, my family was destroyed by powerful people. I was left with nothing, starving on the streets. The agency took me in, trained me, and gave me a life. But in return, I had to obey every order without asking questions. I thought the world was just dark and cruel." Lisa turned her head to look at Jennie. "Until I met you." Jennie felt a lump in her throat. Without thinking, she took a step closer and gently rested her hand on Lisa's arm. "I'm so sorry, Lisa." Lisa stared at Jennie's gentle hand, then looked into her soft eyes. Drawn in by the moment, Lisa slowly leaned in. Jennie didn't pull away. She closed her eyes, her heart racing as Lisa leaned closer and closer. Their lips were just a millimeter apart, an almost kiss hanging in the air. Suddenly, Lisa caught herself. She gasped softly, realizing what she was doing. She stopped herself, took a step backward, and cleared her throat, her face flushed with confusion and guilt. I should clean up the kitchen," Lisa said quickly, turning her face away. Jennie blinked, her heart still beating fast, feeling a mix of disappointment and shyness. "Yeah, me too."